I am extremely nervous about putting this beam up. It is extremely heavy. Today we're finally framing the first wall of our solar kiln, but what makes this special is that we're framing the entire building using our own milled lumber. So we're starting on our first wall. This one is going to be 20 feet wide and 4 feet tall. The studs are going to be spaced 24 inch on center. All right, so 24. So we're going to go 23 1/4. This pencil doesn't write well on this lumber. Mr. Glue. These were our first nails of our first framed wall with our own milled lumber. Oh, don't glue me. Epic. Yeah. Is that a big wad of glue on top?
Yeah, I just didn't have any place to put it.
Oh. That's dense.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. 1/16 over 20 on this one. One 1/16 under 20. So yeah, it's an eighth difference. Eighth inch difference. Yeah, that's good. That's better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Having a moment with that?
Now it's gonna be smeary. Ooze that stuff.
That is a juicy knot. Oh, it's sticky.
You just gotta come along and do it every.
Yeah. How are you feeling about that?
Feeling good.
All right, so we spent some time and began mocking up and assembling our very first truss right here. It took us a while, but we are really liking how it turned out. It's one thing that's pretty cool about this one, we used one board to create the entire truss. One true dimension 2x6 straight from the mill, and there's our truss. There's been several times along this build where I've just kind of stood there and looked around, and just looking at the building that we're making with the wood that we milled ourselves, there's a really cool feeling that gives me. It almost makes me feel more connected to nature. Just a really cool idea that we're making this all with wood that we milled ourselves. So I really like that about it. Using wood we milled ourselves has also introduced some other challenges, especially when it comes to checking if things are square or level or plumb. One thing Dad said earlier, it's kind of hard to know what to trust because some of our boards, and I can show you this. So we're using this piece of OSB to square up our front wall, and after we put it in, we've flushed up this edge right here. One thing we noticed after we put it up is that this board right here is a little bit wavy compared to the reference of this relatively flat and straight sheet of OSB. And there's a few reasons that can happen. One reason, like we're seeing right here, whenever we hit a knot, especially if we hit it too fast, the blade tends to jump up some. And so that's something we need to look out for when we're milling in the future. But sometimes it's hard to see them because they're buried deep within the wood and they just kind of catch you by surprise. Also, sometimes we move a little bit too fast and that can cause the blade to get a little bit wavy. And finally, once the blade starts to dull, we can also see that happen too. And so then we'll end up with some boards that might not be perfectly square all the way across. And sometimes we have some boards like we saw in these where we're going for 1.5 inches, but it might vary slightly as we move up and down the board. So it's definitely something we have to look out for as we're constructing the whole building. Make sure that we're not going off one of those measurements. We didn't run any of this through the planer after all, so there are going to be some places where it's not perfect. We just have to test different ways to make sure that the building itself ends up relatively square by the end of it. Can you push towards me? Yeah. There's a little gap on the bottom. The top going that way?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, go look right now and see what we...
Can you push it this way? It's a little better. It could still use a little more, I think. Oh yeah, that looks like it right there.
Yeah.
And it's great that the line is perfect too. Yeah, this is it. What is it, every 6 inches or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Remember, you got 2 boards.
So if I hit, yeah, all right, you got it. Did I hit? All right, so I did this line, I did the edge. Nails. How's it feeling? Dad put in some shiners. Do you need another clampy clamp? Need a forklift. put mine down. All right, free.
Yeah, it's gonna be the...
Yep. This board's got a little funk to it. Well, it might make more sense to, well, 94 is small to small, right?
Right, so this... Is it? Yeah.
So we have started cutting and assembling our trusses. We have most of the ones we need. We still have a couple more we have to do. And we're gonna be adding collar ties to all of these, kind of like this one. This is our mock-up one. Now you might notice that there's actually nowhere to attach these to right now. We just have this big opening in the front for loading the lumber in and out. And so we need to mill a beam that's gonna go across the top and hold all that load. And then we'll put a top plate on top of that, and that's where the trusses will sit. So we need to go right over to the beam factory over here and mill a beam. And we know that we need one that is about 6 inches wide to be the same as the width of these boards. It needs to be a little bit over 16 feet long. And for the height, we're just gonna mill the biggest one that we can. We're hoping for around 12 inches. And then we'll cut our jack studs accordingly. So once we do that, we'll be able to put our jack studs in, we'll put our beam up and the top plate, and then we'll have a place to start installing all these trusses. So let's head over to the sawmill and begin milling our log. Okay, so we have this southern yellow pine as per usual loaded up on the bunks. And let's get a measurement of it. This one from end to end is about 19 feet. One thing we noticed about it, it has some bow in it. So we'll see what we can get once we cut out those parts. It's about 13.5 inches on the small end. So we'll do our best to get our biggest beam that we can out of this. And if not, we'll try again. So the good news is if we don't get our beam out of it, we have other 2x6s and countless things that we can get.
Try to figure out which way we want it to end up. I'm kind of thinking.
How did we end up? I guess the small end's on this side instead of that side now.
Yeah.
Whew. Those little connector bunks are.
This is Danner bunks for us. I think this is officially the longest thing we put on the mill, right? 19 feet?
Yeah.
Huh?
I mean, it goes all the way to our last bunk with a cover on it.
Yeah.
This basically takes advantage of the whole mill. Whichever part isn't bowed is the part we should be getting our 12 inches out of. To me,
I can see
it looks like it's bowed like up, directly up the mill right now. So yeah, this log does have a pretty significant bow. You can see when I come down close to the mill's perspective, you can see how much it's up right here in the middle, but it's touching here on the outer sides. So we think we can get our 6 inches somewhere along this edge, and we should have a little more room to work with in the other direction to get our 12 inches. It's looking like we're gonna be really close here. We have just a little bit left we have to cut off. And right now we're at 12.5 inches. So if we can get the rest of this cut off in the next ½ inch, we'll be good. There is still a little bit of wane on the other side, but I think if we end up with a 12-inch board with just a little bit of wane, that should be plenty. Got it. Here is our beam that we ended up with. Is it the best beam we've ever done? I don't think so. Definitely not perfect. A couple places with some wane on it, and also our blade was getting pretty dull on us. So there might be a couple places where we might be off by close to a ½ inch. We think we've kind of solved those problems for the most part, but we might get a little bit surprised once we go to put it up. It is extremely heavy. Just with the both of us, we can barely even flip it, like pick it up and turn it. So we're definitely gonna have to use the tractor for assistance to put it up, but I'm still very nervous about it. Let's go check out a couple more things we have to do. The beam is gonna be sitting on top of 2 jack studs on each side. So we left this spot for them, and we need to cut those now. And now that we know that we were able to get a 12-inch beam, we just have to cut those 12 inches shorter than this wall on either side. We're also going to install our sole plate for both walls, and then go ahead and install one of our corner studs right here to help strengthen this wall some. And surprisingly, with the sole plate, we were only off by a ½ inch, so I think we did pretty good with that. So we cut this board 7 1/4. Might be able to tap it in with a hammer.
We're gonna need a hammer.
Right there? Mine's flush over here. Does that look straight? Uh-huh. It is at 93 1/8. You got some bug on your face. I don't know what it was, but it looked pretty freaky. All right, so we got our sole plate down for the sidewall. We added this corner stud here, and that alone made this wall that's standing here on its own a lot sturdier. And of course, we have those kicker plates helping it too right now. And then we got the first of our 2 jack studs put up. When we framed this wall, we left out this small piece right here to put our jack studs onto. And you can see that this board right here ended up being a little bit thicker than 1.5 inches. And so now this gap is a little bit smaller than 1.5 inches. So what we've decided to do is take our next jack stud and run it through the planer just to get it fitting a little more snug there. Same thing with this other side. We actually already ran this one through the planer, and you can see that fits pretty good now. It is just a tad over, but this is also green lumber, so it's probably gonna shrink a little bit too by the end of this. So let's go put our other one through the planer, put it up, and we should be ready to put up our big heavy beam that we milled yesterday. So that little bit's what we need to take off.
Yep.
So we've used this planer a bunch, and basically what a planer does is shave off a very small layer as you pass it through, and it gets that side of the board really flat. So you can run the board through, flatten one side, and keep flipping it and shaving down each side a little bit at a time and get those 2 sides parallel with each other. I think running boards through the planer can also be really rewarding and satisfying. There's been a handful of times where we've taken some boards that we left sitting outside and got all faded by the sun and kind of gross looking, even some fungus growing on the outside. You run it through the planer and it makes the board look brand new again, like it was just milled. It's really cool with the cedar when you run it through. It makes it that really pretty red and pink colors, brings those out. How much did we take off just then?
Probably about an
1/8 of an inch. You can see how much sawdust is produced by just taking 1/8 of an inch off this board.
Well, this is 2 boards, so.
Oh, okay. All right, I'm ready. You bring it over. Hey.
Hold on.
All right, Dad, so what was your lesson on glue?
Yeah, the Loctite PL 3X definitely works better than the 375, but we're not really totally sure because it was cold when we did the other one. So it may have been the temperature that caused the problem, but it never really hardened up much. But this stuff absolutely gets, you know, when we get it on stuff, we've been using this for drips because if it drips on something, you can't get it off. So anyway, it definitely works great.
And the other one was the one that we did on the subfloor in the last video. And the thing we noticed about it, after a couple weeks, it's honestly still kind of gooey. And yeah, like you said, it might have been the wrong conditions, but this stuff for sure holds it tight. Stuff's the bomb. And this DeWalt framing nailer is also the bomb. I hate some nails. This totally beats having to drag around a compressor. That is for sure.
Not only that, it's just like when you're on a ladder and stuff.
Yeah, it's just so
Just freeze
so much
up
easier,
everything.
and it works great.
All right, put that in there and that'll start it right there.
Do you want up here?
Yeah, you can do that too. It works, touch it. Can't hook and help me flip this up. I want to see which way it's crowned. All right, so now let's flip it 180 degrees and just double check.
So this is the final beam we ended up with. It is about 6 by 12 by 16 foot 6. I checked the moisture content of it this morning. It's about somewhere between 35 and 40%, so still pretty wet, but we actually think it dried some overnight. It seems a little lighter to deal with today.
Definitely the other way. All right.
Very heavy. We will definitely need the tractor to lift this up. We have been a little bit nervous about it. My guess is this is about 400 or 500 pounds. I tried to do one of those calculators online, but if any of you know, definitely let us know what your estimate is of how much this weighs. It's southern yellow pine, but our loader is rated for over 1,000 pounds, so this should be good. This morning we came over with the forks and did a test lift, and it lifted it just fine. Dad said that the tractor felt really steady with it, so we're gonna try lifting it up with the forks and going from there.
We're also still liking the Pro Bunk. These things have made it so much easier. There's no way we could have moved some of these logs. We just couldn't do it. All right, so, and then this with the piece, is there any wane on the back?
I'm not seeing any on this side.
So that's great, because if we pick it up this way, that means the wane will be on the outside, and that'll be covered by siding, so our beam will see inside. Perfect. All right, I can go get the tractor here.
Do we want to
We need to put our blocks on.
put our blocks on, get our other ladder?
I got to get over there first, so.
You do?
I mean, I'm just going to move it over there first.
Okay. So we're going to be very cautious when we're doing this. There definitely is some dangerous aspects to this. Our hydraulics have been a little bit iffy. There's always a chance that they just give out and it drops. So we're definitely going to be cautious, but I am feeling pretty confident about this. We wouldn't do it if we weren't feeling good about it. All right. Can you go down just a hair more? Tilt up a little bit. Back down.
As soon as we can get it over, we'll slide it over by hand. Is it over?
You're over the track. All right, stop. If you could just slightly tilt it down, slightly. A little more. You're good. All right, you're good. Just for fun, well, yeah, just for fun, lift it a little bit. Do you want me to go first?
Huh? We're just gonna,
Okay.
I gotta go up some. I gotta go up some.
Okay. Maybe tilt back a little bit. There you go.
Feel it getting light right now.
It's staying pretty level.
Yeah, the problem is the tractor isn't going to be level. And I got to come down that hill right there, so.
That is a big old block of wood. Hey, wait, stop.
So we have to put our backstops up there first. I'm gonna glue gun on that saddle and all on the back, but I don't want to do it until I absolutely know we can get it up there because it starts skinning up.
Let it up first, then you can always glue jack one end up.
Yeah.
Glue underneath it, set it back down.
Yeah. It's just a temp hold when we get it in there.
There should be one in there already, right?
Hold on. It's closer than I thought it was going to be.
It's closer on his side than my side.
Yeah.
Can you see that?
That's all I got height-wise. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Wait just a minute. All right.
You ready?
Well, let's wait for him. Hold on.
I'm going to get the glue ready. We can decide what side we think we can best do. Huh?
We're gonna do Danner's side.
Danner side? All right. I don't know
I guess
how
once
much
we
more
put
I can get
this
out
side
of it.
up, that side's gonna go way down.
Huh? Yeah, that's actually a good point. Do we want to start with that side?
Well, it'll do the same thing on the other side too.
Okay.
But we might want to move this ladder over there, or I don't know.
Lizzie said, "What are you doing? If that board breaks, that glue ain't gonna hold that there." You guys got one little screw and some glue.
He was trying to get me to put it up before we even got off the tractor. He was
I know.
like, come on, lift it. Let's go.
Do you want a rope? Do you want me to? That was way more easy than I thought it was going to be. All right, only because we got brains here.
Oh,
We got real farmer.
so what am I doing here? I mean,
I don't think you have to do anything. I think we'll do it over
if it slides
here.
towards you, I can't catch it from falling.
No, if it slides, you just, all you do is let it go.
We never put another block under here.
Huh?
We never put another block under here to,
I don't think we need one.
you don't think it'll?
Yeah, I think we're pretty good.
We got,
With three of us here,
got
Danner, it's a
3
little
inches
bit,
to work.
it gives us a little bit more confidence.
Put some snot on there.
I'm gonna screw a board on the other side of this thing. See, with two of us, I can get up under there and help, and then I can press up as long as it doesn't fall off the front here. Towering tall, you might have to get down here and do this. Let me see that. Can I have this? All right. Thank you so much for coming today.
so did you text him?
Huh?
He knew we were doing this?
I texted him as I said, as a backup, if Dan and I can't get this tractor high enough, I said.
I didn't know if some miracle.
He didn't hear from me for a while, so he came up on the truck to check on us. That's the kind of neighbors we want. He said, "Oh."
They're eating my sandwich, and I'm like,
Maybe I should go.
This is my
seeing
entertainment.
pictures, and I'm like, uh-oh. All right, you ready?
What did you just screw in on this side?
We'll go look
Oh,
on
I
the
see.
back side.
Okay,
I
gotcha.
just gave you a cradle, so as long as we don't push it down or pull it out, we should be good. Can we not? See, we don't have leverage now. What do you think?
Get us some.
Right. Whoa.
Yeah, we're going to need some board.
What if I
Take this
yeah?
and screw it. Kind of like that right there. And then we can get in it, push as we go up. We got something to hold it.
Got it.
Push up. And then that way
Well, there you go. That's even better. Better than what I was thinking.
you can push and take it. Right?
Man,
Push and take it.
you're hired. Oops, sorry.
Just letting you know.
There we go.
Before we do this, I think I should start the tractor, and I should also rotate because I can get us a little bit farther. This still works, but if I,
Well, actually,
you think this will go pretty easy?
Do you feel confident in that one screw?
I mean,
I don't know what it's rated for or whatever.
yeah, I mean, you're not gonna
I guess
sure.
once you push it out, you can swing it under, and each time you push it up, it'll hold it a little further.
Yeah, but
But-
what he was
but then
saying,
all
which
the-
is good, is if I just put a board right here, out here now, it would hold it. Just a board like this would hold it up, and then I could. But I'm saying right now, I got a lot more back rotation, don't I? What's the clearance back there? So I'm just saying right now, if I just rotate up, it's going to lift this board up pretty good.
have you got any kind of chunks? Chunk wood? Like blocks like off this? Big blocks?
Yeah.
Put your block in between here.
Oh, okay.
That'll hold it out there.
Yeah,
To the screw.
I see.
That would help.
There you go.
Whoa. It's rotating that way.
Huh?
It's rotating that way. You're breaking that off.
All right. All right, slow down. Slow down, let me get up there. I see what he's saying. All right, he almost has it up here, so I just need my gloves.
This is so sketch. Putting a lot of trust in that 2x4 and that one screw.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We gotta come your way some, Danner. I just gotta come this way. I'm literally a...
All right, how can I lift this up?
Yeah, there we go.
Did you get it?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, I got a gap over here that we need to fill in.
Yeah, his side is here. I just need to flush it up. Get you up here to twist it.
Oh,
I just need to twist it just a little bit, and I'll shove
you're
this through.
You're pushing your
I know.
ladder.
I see that, Danner.
Do you want
All
me
right.
to screw this screw in and see if it pulls it, or?
Maybe well, but let me get this stabilized, and then we can both work on that side. All right. There we go.
Man, yours need to be turned.
Yeah, it needs to be pulled in.
It's just been, huh?
Where'd you
I don't know if it's the wall that's pushed out or.
It's down here somewhere, right here.
Well, it's not.
We can move that one. All right, it didn't come out the
The
bottom.
name we gave this project is the Overkiln.
Because we overdid it on a lot of this stuff. Lindsay, I'm gonna need you to do your rock and roll rotate here in a second. This time, roll it under. There we go. To the other ones. All right. There we go.
Is that two?
That's two.
All right.
All right. Now I just need to put the big ones in here. I need some big boys up here, Danner. I'm not a lefty. It shouldn't matter. It's not like I'm slinging a hammer, but this side's got the Lindsay swagger.
Can I take out our support blocks over here?
Yeah. Yeah, on our nailer and on our that we use on our nailer and chainsaw is this one. And this is 6 amp hour, and it lasts. Even on a chainsaw, I can get almost an hour, and it takes 30 minutes to charge. I've got two 9 amp hours. No,
I mean, here.
and and I'll tell you that DeWalt chainsaw. It's more, Danner said, you know, Dad, I think this is more dangerous because it doesn't make any noise. But it's just as much. I mean, electric motors have torque.
This thing is it's just ready to go at any time. That's it.
A 3.5 inch nail and it just buries them. Ring shank. It just sucks if you got to take them out.
It does. You destroy whatever you kind of in it.
Oh yeah, we got to take the 2x4 off too. We'll just
We'll
call
just
it
leave
a
it on
Lindsay.
there.
We'll just call it a Lindsay.
Lindsay's post.
Every time we build something, we'll say we got to put a Lindsay post on there. I would never, ever have thought of that. And it's so obvious, but I would have never thought about it. I'll never forget it, that's for sure. Huh? Question is,
Wow, check that out.
I'd be curious to see how square it is. I mean, we can rack that back and forth and get it
Pull
square.
and then put your brace in between you.
It was just a smidge up over there.
Yeah,
So
But
I think our last little cut saved us.
yeah.
So,
Man, I can't tell you how good I feel right now. I have been wanting to do this part right here. I've been thinking about this part right here.
Cut the hay off.
We did mark the corners and dug out the flat on May 8th 2024. We just finished laying it out that night the tornado hit. This was supposed to be built on May 8th. We were going to build this for 2 weeks. Sometime between the middle of May and the middle of June, we were going to cut those 4 poplars so we could peel the bark. And then we had the roof right after that, and everything just got scrambled. That's what we did. The day we cleared this and put gravel down and strung, had all strung out, we bought those bricks back there, some of the other capstones and the other bricks to sit it on. Got some lumber under there that we got for it. We changed the plan since then, but we did all this on May 8th, 2024. Man, that night was such a crazy night. I mean, we were laying in the middle of the shed and water was just pouring in everywhere on the sides. It filled up his camera box.
All right, check that out. This is looking incredible. We got our first few trusses up and we'll be securing all of them in next week, and we'll be able to start putting in our sidewalls over there. But check out that beam. It is looking just amazing up there. Dad had texted our neighbor, Lindsay, and then he just kind of randomly showed up, and he ended up being extremely helpful with getting that beam up. It probably would have taken us a lot longer to get it up if he had not shown up. So thank you so much, Lindsay. I'm not sure if he'll watch these videos, but man, that just looks incredible. All right, well, we'll continue on with this in the next episode, but for now, you can see it has taken shape. It's looking great. We went from the foundation to partially framed, so amazing progress for this time. I want to give a big thank you to everyone that has liked and subscribed, and also thank you so much to everyone that backs us over on Patreon. We really appreciate your support, and we'll see you guys next time.